Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Korrudo. You can get the blueprint for the Korrudo as a drop from the Tusk Thumper Bull and Tusk Thumper Doma. These are random encounter mini-bosses that you can find in the plains of Eidolon, and they have about a 5% chance to drop the blueprint. But these only spawn in high-level plains of Eidolon. If you go to low-level plains of Eidolon, you're just gonna get Tusk Thumpers, which don't drop the blueprint. The Korrudo is a Mastery Rank 9 sparring weapon that does primarily impact damage, but it still has a ton of slash and then a little bit of puncture on the side. It comes in with a 31% crit chance, a 2.5 times crit multiplier, and a relatively low 9% status chance, and it's pretty slow with a base attack speed of 0.833 and very short range of 1.25. Though in return, it does have good follow-through of 0.9. Now, as far as the build goes, I like to focus heavily on crit, of course, but I do like to add a little splash of status too. So we run Primed Pressure Point for damage, Blood Rush to scale our crit chance, Organ Chatter for crit damage, Berserker Fury for attack speed, Drifting Contact for a little bit of status and combo duration, Primed Reach to actually get some range and take advantage of that awesome follow-through stat, and then we have Primed Fever Strike and Vicious Frost for a ton of vital and a little bit of status. Now, while this doesn't work particularly well against armor, I mean, you can still go up to about level 90 or 100, so you can do all the content up to Sortie 3. It's absolutely devastating for everything else. It absolutely trashes the infested regardless of the enemy type or level, and it's phenomenal versus the Corpus because you have a ton of impact which bashes straight through their shields, and once their shields are down, you have a ton of vital and slash to deal with their health. It's not all nice and rosy though. The Korrudo does have problems. It's pretty slow even for a spotting weapon, the damage distribution could be better, the base status chance is pretty low, and so is the base range. But that's kind of the case for most if not all spotting weapons. They do solid damage and they're really fun to use because you're essentially breakdancing your enemies to death, but they do come with drawbacks. The one thing that spotting weapons do have going for them though is that in general they're not very popular, which might not sound like a good thing, but it is, because it means that they have a relatively high Riven disposition when compared to other weapons of similar power level, which is a long way of saying the Rivens you get for these are pretty spicy, which is why I would actually recommend the Korrudo if you have a Riven for it, but if you don't, you are better off with the Hirudo, which is another spotting weapon that you can get at Mastery Rank 7. There's a reason why the Hirudo is by far the most popular spotting weapon in the game. It does solid damage, the crit and status are better than on the Korrudo, it has faster attack speed, and it has a healing passive that will heal you every time you crit with it. So it's a good utility weapon on top of doing good damage. So once again, if you have a Riven, definitely go for the Korrudo because you can easily outshine the other spotting weapons, but if you don't, you are better off with the Hirudo instead. Unless of course you want a weapon that specializes in killing Corpus, at which point the Korrudo is actually better than the Hirudo, since the Hirudo does primarily puncture. But anyway, that's it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.